Hi, my name is Alyssa, and I'm back with another Animal Crossing video this week. This week I wanted to briefly touch on my thoughts on the whole dream experience in New Horizons, how it differs from the dream experience in New Leaf, my thoughts on it, and my thoughts on some of the drama around reporting islands, because I have a couple thoughts on that. And all the while I'll be doing a speed paint of Luna, the dream guide, I guess is her job title, the dream guide herself, who I just found out like 5 minutes ago is actually a tapir and not a shrew like I thought she was, so that's interesting. But I wanted to talk about dreaming, and with the caveat that like every other update video I make about every update to the game, I like the update. It's great, it's wonderful, it's fantastic. In fact, dreaming was my #1 thing that I wanted from New Leaf in this game. But like every other major update that I've enjoyed, like the museum update and the diving update, it should have been in this game from day one, and there's no reason it couldn't have been in the game from day one, so, you know, do with that what you will. But now that it's here, I'm super stoked. I think dreaming is a fabulous way to experience other people's islands, and while I appreciate all the YouTubers that have gone through all the effort all these months to help fill that void with island tours, especially the ones that actually have audio voiceover from the island creator explaining their thought process for why they design things a certain way and their ideas on theming and stuff, those are really cool videos. However, I always would get a little irritated when like somebody doing the tour would just like blitz through one part of the island that I really wanted to look at a little bit better, or they'd like take no time at all to look and explore in the houses and stuff that I'm always really curious about. When I see an island, I want to go explore all the houses and get design ideas and run through the flowers and stuff like that. So being able to actually visit islands and go my own pace and explore islands the way I want to, huge. It's amazing. It was the best thing about New Leaf, and now it's probably one of the best things about New Horizons as well. It differs a little bit from New Leaf. If you guys didn't play New Leaf for the 3DS, you had to go to a dedicated dream building that was in like the little town that was attached to your town. There was like a downtown area you had to go to, and you would tell Luna you wanted to go to a dream. And in New Leaf, you had to pay to have the building made, and you had to wait a while to unlock it. So that was the frustrating part about the Dream Suite, I think, in New Leaf, is that it cost so much to build. But once you built it, it was like, you know, it was part of your town forever, and it only cost, I think, 500 bells or 1,000 bells or something pretty small to go visit a dream. That being said, I think it's an upgrade that in New Horizons you can just dream from any bed in your house. It makes sense that you would just fall asleep and dream, you know, instead of having to go to a dedicated building to have a specific kind of dream. You know, it was almost like a hallucination or something, the way that it seemed. It was almost like she was giving you like this magical hallucination experience in the Dream Suite before, whereas now it's literally just you fall asleep and you have a nice dream about someplace else. So I like the mechanics of it better, how it's just part of your file. I'm assuming from the beginning, once this update is installed, I'm assuming if you make a new island tomorrow that dreams would just be a part of it instead of having to build an expensive dedicated building and then having to go to that building. You know, I think that part of it is way better. I do really miss in New Leaf, you had the ability to visit a random town, random dream address. And I really wish they would bring that back, and I suspect it's because they're being overly paranoid about reporting and stuff like that, which is something I'll get into in a second here. But I wanted to say that I think the experience of dreaming in New Horizons is much better, and obviously because the graphics are much nicer in this game, it's a very pleasant experience to dream and explore an island in this game versus New Leaf. It was a little bit less exciting because to me, it wasn't as fun to control a little avatar on the 3DS. I never really got used to the handheld controls as much as I'm used to the Pro Controller with the Switch. It just feels a lot better to dream. The same thought process I had for diving, where like I didn't really like diving at all in New Leaf. I found it kind of clunky and cumbersome and a pain in the butt. But in New Horizons, it's actually really enjoyable and relaxing, just based on how it feels to control the character with the Pro Controller versus the 3DS controller. So overall, dreaming is a much nicer experience. It's much more streamlined. It makes more sense that you just fall asleep in your bed. A+. Love that change to the mechanic versus a standalone building to go dream in. It just makes way more sense. I do think the cons are, like I said, no ability to visit a random island, and also on the reporting thing, I think it's bogus that people were going out of their way to report dream addresses of islands that had you know, the hacked star trees before they got patched out a couple days ago. Like, that's annoying because the star trees weren't hurting anyone. I personally love visiting horror-themed islands, so I think it was annoying that people were going out of their way to report horror-themed islands, especially because, like I said, there's no ability currently to visit a random dream address, so people were going out of their way to look at people who were promoting, saying, hey, visit my horror-themed island, or whatever it was, and they made the choice to type in that dream address knowing it was horror themed just so they could go visit to report them, which I think is like, you gotta find a new hobby, man. Like, I understand reporting somebody for having maybe a profane flag or something like that because it is a children's game, but I think a little bit of splotch of fake blood that's really just the color red as a few pixels on the screen, I don't think that's particularly traumatizing given the context of Animal Crossing. Like, there's only so much horror you can actually pack into an Animal Crossing island. None of them are actually really traumatizing to look at. So, I don't know. I think people were just bored and looking for something to do when they were reporting these islands, especially because, like I said, they had to go out of their way to do it. So, that's annoying and frustrating. So any of you guys who have been reporting horror islands, just know that you are my enemy. Because I think I speak for most of us in the Animal Crossing community that we love the people who make the horror islands, because I think a vast majority of the player base likes to make their island very cute and comfy and cozy, myself included. So the few among us who are dedicated enough to make an entire horror-themed island and really put dedication into trying to make the game as creepy as humanly possible given the restrictions of the game and how cute it is, we reap the benefits of that by being able to go visit these islands and see this creativity with dream addresses. And for somebody to try to take that away, I think is very annoying and very bad for the Animal Crossing community. So boo to anybody who was reporting anybody for hacked star trees or for like little splotches of cartoon blood in a horror themed island. Like, that's, you guys need to get a life. So I guess in summary, my thoughts on the dream address functionality in New Horizons is, I think the functionality of it is much improved over New Leaf. I think the ability to go visit somebody by laying down in a bed and not having to pay bells or build a dedicated building is a huge upgrade from New Leaf. A+. I think the islands are much more interesting to visit in this game. The villages are much more interesting to visit in this game versus New Leaf. So A+, great upgrade. But I do miss the random island functionality, though I understand why Nintendo might be hesitant to bring that back because of how trigger-happy people have been with the report button and reporting things that are completely benign and harmless to people. So those are all my thoughts on Dreaming in New Horizons, the pros and cons versus what it was like in New Leaf, and I will be leaving my dream address in the description below. I want to put it in the description versus putting it on screen because I'll be updating it periodically as I fix areas of my island that are not quite finished yet, or post at different times of day or during different times of weather, stuff like that. So the up-to-date dream address will be in the description below. You can also buy a print of Luna and the 200-something villagers I've drawn out of the 480 total villagers on my A to Z drawing quest. You can buy prints, stickers, tote bags, t-shirts, and more of them at the Redbubble link in the description below. And also leave a comment if you have a dream address you'd like me to check out when I just have free time and like to visit dream islands for fun. Leave a brief description of what your island is like. Say, my island is pirate themed and my dream address is blah blah blah, because I'll be checking out islands whose themes intrigue me, you know, something I haven't seen before, or pirate or tropical islands I can get inspiration from. I would be super interested in checking out, so leave those in the comments below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace out.